Bananaman is a British comic book fictional character. Bananaman is a parody of traditional superheroes, being portrayed as a schoolboy who is transformed into a muscled, caped figure when he eats a banana. The character originally appeared in Nutty as the backpage strip in issue 1, dated February 16, 1980, drawn by John Geering. He has since appeared in the Dandy and The Beano. Original strip. The original strip, originated by Dave Donaldson and Steve Bright, written and developed by the latter, and mostly drawn by John Geering until his death in 1999, is essentially a parody of Superman and Batman with shades of Captain Marvel and his British twin, Mouseman, and occasionally other Silver Age characters, while also combining comic slapstick with a heavy dose of eccentric British humour similar to Alan Moore's contemporary work on Captain Britain. After John Geering died in 1999, Barry Appleby took over and later Tom Patterson. In 2003, the original script writer, Steve Bright, drew it, until 2007. Sporadically from 2007 to 2010 the character appeared in reprinted strips from the John Geering era. For a short time, in late 2008, artist Chris Mcgee reinvented Bananaman in a series of new strips. Chris' other work included the Three Bears for the Beano and the characters on Yoplate's wildlife product range. Two new strips appeared that year drawn by Barry Appleby as well. Since the Dandy revamp occurring in October 2010, Wayne Thompson took over drawing Bananaman in a style reminiscent of French cartoonist Lisa Mandel, a popular artist in the Dandy who has previously drawn Jack, Agent Dog 20 and, occasionally, Bully Beef and Chips. In issue 3515, Wayne's style notably changes and looks more cartoony and detailed. As of spring 2011, Thompson's version of Bananaman appears in full color over 2 pages. From 1983 to 1986, Bananaman also had his own annual. This was unusual because, unlike many other comics at the time, Nutty never had an annual. Unlike Dennis the Menace and Bash Street Kids, which mostly consisted of reprints, these annuals were entirely new material. In issue 3618, dated January 14, 2012, Bananaman made his debut appearance, as John Geering reprints, in the Beano. However, he continued to appear in the Dandy. Another Beano character, Banana Girl of Super School, was revealed to be his cousin. The Dandy print comic ended in December 2012, but Bananaman is still seen in the digital version drawn by Andy Janes. New Bananaman strips drawn by Wayne Thompson and written by Nigel Auchterlonie, Kev F. Sutherland and lately Cavan Scott continue to run in the Beano through 2014. Character, in the strip, Eric Wimp, an ordinary schoolboy living at 29 Acacia Road, Nutty Town, eats a banana to transform into Bananaman, an adult superhero, sporting a distinctive cowled blue and yellow outfit complete with a yellow two-tailed cape resembling a banana skin. His superpowers include the ability to fly, superhuman strength, and seeming invulnerability. This is offset by the fact that he is just as naive and foolish as his alter ego. As mentioned in the comic once or twice, he has the muscles of 20 men and the brains of 20 muscles. If Bananaman needs extra power, bananas can be eaten for strength boosts, provided by his faithful pet crow. If he does not have enough strength to shatter an ice block, for example, after eating another banana, he will have enough. If he eats lots of bananas in one sitting, he quickly becomes obese in his transformation. If he eats bananas that are not full, he transforms with extra weight in the lower part of his body. There have also been comics where he has eaten a variant on normal bananas, and transforms differently, reflecting the difference in that banana. The effects of eating the bananas are not consistent from story to story. Varying origins, Eric was rocketed to Earth from the Moon as a baby, and gained his powers because the crescent moon resembles a banana. Bananaman resembles Superman in 2 respects. Firstly, he has a kryptonite-style weakness to moldy bananas. Furthermore, he even has a Fortress of Solitude-style building at the North Pole, made out of a giant banana. During early board meetings, the designers thought of the aspect of Banana Girl to accompany the series. The girl would have been called Margaret Wimp, and be the sister of Eric. This idea was scrapped later on in production, because the concept of two children being related without parents would be too far-fetched for children to understand. However, the idea was revived for a Beano comic strip. In the 1991 Dandy annual, Bananaman's origin was changed to that of being a normal Earth baby in a maternity hospital, who obtained his powers after unintentionally eating a banana in which General Blight had hidden a stolen supply of Saturnium, and accidentally left it next to Eric. However, later issues referred to the first origin as the real one. Other characters, Bananaman initially faced a different pastiche supervillain each week, who were often lampoons of the kind of single-issue, uncreatively named villains that heroes fought during the Silver Age, or tips of the hat of famous supervillains. Enemies include, Sydney, also known as Toymaster, 10-year-old parody of Toyman, Witchy Woman parody of Scarlet Witch, General Blight, Bananaman's current arch-enemy, and a parody of Adolf Hitler. A generic criminal mastermind who in later strips largely replaced the inventive criminal of the week, Dr. Gloom, a Dr. Doom homage, Blight's sidekick, Apperman, Bananaman's arch-enemy in the early strip who was rotten to the core, parody of Bizarro, created by Dr. Gloom, even though in one comic strip his original name was Pete Pippin. In later comics, he becomes an ally to Bananaman, Weatherman, a master of controlling the weather from his powerful blimp who works for General Blight, Clayman, parody of Clayface, the Heavy Mob, a group of thieves led by Eddie the Gent, who appeared as recently as 2008. Auntie, a relative of General Blight, a nanny with remote-controlled balls of knitting wool as weapons. Possibly a parody of Granny Goodness, Impossible Man, complete with a quiff who performs impossible things such as hopping at 100 mile per hour. Foul 5 parody of Famous Five, Scotsman, who controls haggis with a set of bagpipes, the Nurks, an alien race bent on conquering Earth, led by King Zorg, the Lone Changer, a homage to the chameleon, a shapeshifter that can transform himself to ordinary appliances to human beings, Bubblegum Bert, a possible homage to the Juggernaut. Evil Taco, a character that was planned to be part of the cartoon but was removed because parents said it would promote racism. Skunk Woman, a homage to Catwoman, Captain Cream, a topping criminal who commits all his crimes with stale cakes and pastries filled with cod liver oil. Mouseman, a gigantic mouse, the mole, only appeared in TV series. He has control of a drill. Fat Cat, evil cat who tried to steal Big Ben and Blackpool Tower, among other things, appeared in summer 2011. Zookeeper, a lazy psychic, who says she can control animals. Kiwi Fruit Girl, Bananaman hates kiwi fruit, so Fat Cat sent for her to kill him, but he knocked her out. The strip's medium subverting elements became toned down as the strip gained in popularity, becoming more simplistic to appeal to the new audience. Bananaman gained a talking crow sidekick called Simply Crow, and became so stupid he often forgot how to fly or to use the door. Eventually, Bananaman even began to go to school despite being an adult. Bananaman is allied with Chief O'Reilly, a stereotyped Irish policeman. He used to wear an Indian feather headdress as a visual pun on Chief, and in later strips wore a hat with a flashing blue light on the top. Chief works in a police station shaped like a giant police helmet, which frequently has to be rebuilt after Bananaman accidentally destroys it. O'Reilly rings up Eric to get him to talk to Bananaman, presumably thinking Eric is Bananaman's assistant of some kind. As in the cartoon series, it is made clear that the Chief is not aware of Eric's being the Big Blue superhero. Television cartoon series. In 1983, the BBC made a cartoon series which included a catchy theme tune and featured the voices of the Goodies. It was produced by 101 Film Productions. Parts of the character were changed for the series. He was now called Eric Twinge, had a distinctive banana-shaped hairstyle rather than punk stubble, and had a love interest in the form of Fiona, a newsreader based on Selena Scott and also a possible homage to Lois Lane. Graham Garden voiced the characters of Bananaman, General Blight and Morris of the Heavy Mob. Bellotti voiced the characters of Crow, Chief O'Reilly, Dr. Gloom and the Weatherman, and Tim Brooke Taylor voiced the characters of Eric, King Zorg of the Nurks, Eddie the Gent, Auntie and Apperman, as well as narrating the episodes. Jill Schilling voiced Fiona and any additional female characters, including Eric's cousin Samantha. It lasted for 40 episodes between 3 October 1983 and 15 April 1986. Bananaman was aired in the United States by the Nickelodeon cable network as a companion piece to Danger Mouse, but Bananaman never came close to reaching that series' American popularity. The show also aired during the Australian Broadcasting Corporation's after-school time slot and is considered one of the classic ABC shows. Some episodes of Bananaman were used in 1997 on the British cartoon series The Pepe and Paco Show created by Henson International Television. Some of these episodes would eventually reappear in print form in the Dandy in 1998, coinciding with the BBC repeating the series that year, and were reprinted in the comic in spring 2007, now promoting the DVD. Each episode was roughly 5 minutes from start to end. Phrases from the show, 20 Big Men, and Ever Alert for the Call to Action, are still used in the comic today. Credits: painter Sir Richard Adams, Jane Beecham, Marianne Coldner, Paul Heward, John Tillett, Anne Whitford, Tresessa Janine Arthey, Jacqueline Miller, Olive Scott, Phyllis Vince, Anne Ward, John Tillett, Linda Butcher, Checker, Catherine J. Cowan, Anna Matorsa, Richard Cox, Joan Garrick, Jeff Loynes, Janet Nunn, Alan Green, layouts Sir Gil Potter, backgrounds Sir Russell Pearman, editing Morgan Daniels Limited, rostrum cameras Stephen Williams, Trevor Bond Associates Limited, music Dave Cook, production controller Thomas Barker, production coordination Thomas Barker, Pat C. Morton, script writer Sir Bernie K., Terry Ward, producer Sir Trevor Bond, Terry Ward, director Terry Ward, made by R101 Productions, copyright Bananaman Productions Limited. 1983, film adaptation. It was announced in March 2014 that DC Thompson in conjunction with Elstree Studio Productions will be producing a Bananaman movie with a release date of 2015. In May 2014 DC Thompson unveiled the first teaser poster for the film. References. External links: Bananaman at the Big Cartoon Database, Episode Guide, International Hero, Bananaman at the Internet Movie Database, Bananaman at TV.com, official Bananaman movie website.